Hello, everyone, and welcome to the exciting conclusion here of the 2018 Monster on the Mountain. Terry Miller, the disc golf guy, and joining me for this final 9, Coby Guice. Coby, we're in Florida. It's a gorgeous day in October, and we got some great golf being played.
Yeah, glad to be here with you, Terry. Starting out the back 9 is probably one of the harder holes on the course. It's a 360-foot tunnel shot and low ceiling with hills on the right and left. So it's basically sitting on a spine. And Calvin, for the third round in a row, really making this hole much easier than it looks, or much easier than it is.
Yeah, anytime you have a look at a birdie here, you've done a lot of things correctly. And a nasty shot could possibly catch edge, maybe even roll to the bottom of the hill, and in really bad luck could even find itself, getting on the other side of the OB fence.
Yeah, and that miss that Sam had, it seems like it's the most common, just getting a little bit too much air under it. And Paul not having an issue with that. Again, another great shot on this hole. And you see he's down there at the very bottom.
Just trying to fight back up. And that can be kind of a lonely place to be when you're over there, because as you can see, there is a lot of action between you and the basket.
Trying to throw it in for 3.
Yeah, not too bad. It looks like he's going to have a tap-in bogey. And here's Reid. What
That's a
a
great
putt.
too. Yeah, that's awesome right there. Reed's a really solid putter. He's been showing a lot of skill this year in 2018 season, traveling a little bit more and really just stepping up his game as a whole.
Yeah, he is a confident putter that's always right at the center of the chains. And it's been a real pleasure watching him over these last couple of rounds. And hopefully we'll continue to see him more out on tour. I think he's going to do a little off-season work in Texas, because he said, I just really don't want to go back to to Michigan. It's a lot less pleasant there in the wintertime. So
Yeah, it seems like that would be the best thing. Just avoid the snow altogether.
come on, you haven't lived unless you're playing in 2 feet of snow.
Yeah, well, maybe not, but I'm okay with not living at this point. That right there, three birdies on that last hole is just amazing, and Reed stepping up, just crushing it on this par 4, 660 feet, and puts it maybe just a little more right than he wants to, but still shouldn't have any issues.
Yeah, and this, plays 660. It's one of the few 660-foot holes in the world that a decent player might actually be able to drive all the way to the pin. Probably effectively plays maybe 450 at most.
Yeah, and with it being that downhill, that makes perfect sense. And it looks like Paul's making a little bit more of a correction. Um,
Yeah,
doesn't sound like he's too happy, but I mean,
no, he's a little frustrated, and I think he thought it hit a different tree than what it really did. But, he's at the mouth, and he's got a long look at eagle. I mean, not everybody can park it like Calvin did during round 2.
yeah, it's a tough hole to penetrate to get all the way to the basket. And as you can see from where Sam's sitting, if you do shoal it off a little bit early, you're going to have to put some work in to get there still.
Really, the miss on this hole is you just want to throw it straight. I mean, if you don't want to get all the way to the mouth, or you're not looking at an eagle or whatever, that's fine. But what you can't do is come in short and right. Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of extra work to do. And you see, Sam has already thrown 2 shots to where Calvin and everyone else, they're on the right side, but they were much further up. And if you're going to miss anywhere, just throw it dead straight on this hole.
Yeah. Reed just a little easy toss up. Give himself maybe a 15-footer for the 3.
So here's an opportunity for McBeth to go with the eagle.
Oh my gosh, dude!
Twice. Can't quite capitalize on it. Gives himself a little tough birdie look, but converts. No issues there. You can't be too upset with a birdie, but he's still trying to make a lot of moves on Calvin.
think he realizes Calvin is also looking at a birdie here. So an eagle is one of the few ways you could actually make a move on Calvin at this point. And we're heading into the back nine, and you've got to start making some moves. I mean, Calvin's clearly playing really well. So not only do you have to play at Calvin's level, but you need another notch there. And, you know, he's named McBeast for a reason, but I don't know if there's going to be enough holes.
Yeah, it's going to be cutting it close, and I think that's the thing out here. There's not a whole lot of out of bounds trouble on this back nine. There's a little bit on a few holes, but realistically, there's not a ton of trouble. Out of bounds trouble, anyways.
A little bit of a misfire by Reid that really sets up great for a lefty backhand drive, and it looked like he just threw it a little too flat.
Calvin making good work of the forehand. Again, just putting a little more pressure on Paul. And
I've seen Paul throw 2 less than ideal shots here on that hole, and he still hasn't quite dialed it in. He'll have a long look for a birdie from there. I believe this is a rock possibly that we see from Sam trying to throw the turnover.
yeah, that just seems like a really tough backhand hole. The way the basket's a little bit elevated. Still has a good run for 2 just off the front cage, but
Reid just deadly from everywhere, but not quite enough on that one.
and Paul, let's see if he can convert the 2 because Calvin's pretty much parked. Yeah, perfect. Knocks it down. Doesn't make up any strokes, but he's not losing anything, so
Yeah,
not
as
worst
you see,
case.
Calvin, for the relatively easy cleanup, he's going to maintain that 4-stroke advantage over McBeth, and we're through 2/3 of the course. Both Sam and Reid have a little bit of tapping in to do. It's just a beautiful day, late October, out there in Brooksville, Florida, on an amazing piece of property. And again, I got to thank Mike Barnett, Sun King, and the rest of the crews for giving us this chance to be where we are.
Yeah, they usually only have 1 tournament out here a year, so now that they're packing in maybe 1 or 2 more, it's really exciting to see. And Calvin,
Yeah.
with a huge misfire, maybe giving Paul a little bit of room on this par 5. Because and then Paul just can't take advantage.
No, he really buries himself in there. You'll see in a moment that that's actually not only just a little bit tough to find, but his stance is going to be very tough as well. And if you're not getting on that second level, you're almost wasting a stroke. And we see 3 out of 3 here. Let's see if Sam can make a correction. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like he puts it exactly where he wants it. Yeah, it's tough. If you don't get on that top shelf, just like you said, you're just kind of throwing away a shot at this point. It really takes the ego out. I think Calvin, or maybe it was Cole, came back and birdied it yesterday from down there at the bottom.
Yeah, it's just what's weird here is you have to throw it with the nose up a little bit, because obviously you have to get up and over the mound to begin with. So you're going to be losing power, losing distance right off the bat. And McBeth finally is able to locate it, but the bigger problem after he's located it is just getting a good legal stance inside that sawgrass, because he's right near the edge, and you don't want to fall backwards, of course.
Yeah, that's not going to be a fun lie. And honestly, really gets out there considering where he was. I mean, that's a stellar shot.
It really was. And Sam, after just the best drive by a long shot, then ended up hung up on that right side. So this is Calvin's 3rd.
Just mashing on that.
Oh, yeah.
That's got to be parked inside the circle for sure.
And McBeth lining up a forehand for the second consecutive time and gets the full flex. What a shot.
All right.
And Reid has this little tunnel, and look how he just bends it right through. He actually goes deep of the basket.
Yeah, he just filleted that though. That's a tight little gap. If you do get over on the right side, there's still a little bit of room, but I mean the ideal miss is to be on the left side.
Nice shot.
Little putter action there by Sam. Here's McBeth.
Not too stoked about that. Yeah.
I think that'd be a polite way of putting it. Yeah, not too stoked. Oh,
And
Calvin.
front cage.
Calvin was right there ready to extend the lead.
Yeah. And the front
Oh
cage.
my gosh.
Yeah.
You know, earlier I would have said, well, maybe everyone's getting tired, but you know, most of McBeth's misses have been off the top of the basket, so he's got plenty of power.
Yeah.
It has been a long weekend. I've played 40 some holes of golf out here, but just some misfires. Nobody's liking unlucky number hole 13.
Yeah, not at all. Just giving it a little love, making sure it'll catch the next time he comes through.
He's just like, these are chains. I think they're supposed to catch. Well, and to be fair, you know, he couldn't quite see it, but it was a little bit higher and maybe a little bit more left than he realized it.
Yeah. Hole 14 coming in, par 5, 940 foot downhill. It's a really beautiful hole. It's really tough to keep a disc straight and really forcing it low. It's more of a hyzer flip than an understable disc, or rather than throwing a really understable disc.
And I think Paul has a little bit of aggression at this point and wants to keep it low, but is kind of going to try and play a skip, and just surprisingly, the grass that time just stuck it.
Yeah, hopefully that doesn't get tied up too tight, because if you're on the left or right on this hole, it's just going to be really hard to get anything other than par. Reid
So
with a nice out. Yeah.
Yep, that is his second shot. And here's McBeth ready again, just to take as much off as he can. He knows he needs eagles at this point.
Yeah. Really smashes it up there.
Not sure he got quite the turnover that he was looking for. And Heimburg says, well, I'd like to mash one up there for an eagle as well.
And you got to love Calvin's approach. He doesn't go the hyzer. He just goes straight at it.
So although Sam had the furthest drive, it didn't necessarily net him the best result, because he had to just kind of pitch out. He had a really bad angle at the basket, and Reid's throwing his third shot. This being a par 5, Reid's still going to have a good look at a birdie, maybe from long range.
It's like maybe a little slip, a little misfire. Still going to leave him maybe just outside of circle 1. Probably want it a little bit closer. And Paul, finally, yeah. That's how you're going to make up strokes on Calvin.
It certainly is. So Paul from way downtown, I don't know if that's from downtown Tampa or Clearwater or wherever, but that was a huge putt to bring him 2 strokes closer to Calvin Heimburg. Calvin lining up for his own eagle, and, well, he says, I can do that too.
Wow.
So just as McBeth thinks, well, you know, hopefully I'm going to pick up at least 1 on him, Calvin says, nope, I'm good with my 4-stroke lead.
Yeah, I think Calvin, he's doing it for all the rogues out there in Tampa Bay. He's a really big fan of the disc golf club around there. Really big active member of it.
And Reid, a little bit frustrated. He's going to walk away with the bogey here. it was really great to see both a couple newer faces. I've seen Reid a few times around the country. Sam's got a really great story, how he's moved around to a few different places throughout the country. I think he spent a few years in Hawaii. Super nice guy, great solid player.
Some swirly vultures.
And we're back here on hole number 15, and a 4-stroke advantage with just 4 holes left to play. Does Paul McBeth have another mode that we don't know about?
We're gonna find out. Paul's gonna have to bite off a lot right here, and it's really hard to do. Just doesn't turn it over. He's gonna be in a really, really bad position over there.
The play here is low and a little bit of a turnover that maybe finishes at the end, but that one didn't have nearly enough turn by Sam, and he's going to be in a world of hurt over there. I think he's going to have to expend a stroke just to get out, find himself in the fairway. And for the lefty setting himself up that way, that was a really solid shot by Reid.
Yeah, that's tough. And actually, he made it a lot further than I thought he did. So it wasn't terrible. And Calvin, wow, just going with a huge hyzer. I mean, that takes so much power to get over that.
That sounded like a good hit.
Yeah, I mean, one thinks, well, you could go up this little gap, the traditional fairway, as many would call it, and then there's people like Calvin who can even consider taking that hyzer up and over everything. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, you're only going to see a handful of players be able to do that. Your Calvin, your Simon, Eagle, Paul, Ricky, just to name a few. But yeah, that's unheard of for most people, most normal people.
Well, and McBeth not only got all the way up as far as he did, but then throws a perfectly clean shot there. Really impressive, because I would have never guessed he would have been able to even think about attacking the basket from where he was. And Reid also just great shot here for his second shot.
Yeah, that was perfect. Yeah, where Paul was lying, I mean, that's such a tough shot. I'm not sure how he even got through it, but definitely did. And ooh, Calvin just a little bit high, but that's okay. Miss aggressive.
So Calvin doesn't convert, but yet McBeth does. So I don't know if that's a scramble plus or what category you put that in, but to be that far off the fairway and then still get up and down and card the birdie, he's going to actually pick up a stroke on Heimburg and brings himself within 3 with what will be 3 left to play. So, this certainly isn't over.
Yeah, anything can happen. And the next couple holes, you got a little bit of trouble, but I think hole 16 is a pretty short uphill par 3, so should be a 2 for both of them.
We'll see how they handle it. It's a newer position. It used to be just kind of right on the front of the hillside, and now it's a little bit deeper. Here's McBeth's tee shot.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, but look at the roll. I mean, does that not completely sum up his day? Here he is almost acing it, and then it rolls to 45 feet.
And is that a grenade by Reid?
It is. Yes. Reid goes with the grenade shot and just absolutely sticks the landing.
Yeah.
That's so lucky.
Yes, it was.
Heimburg calling himself on it, saying that's so lucky.
At least he knows. At least he knows. All right, and Sam, not quite as lucky. And that's going to be really tough from down there. There's a lot of junk in the way. Gets out perfect. Great.
Yeah, he was working hard to get through that little gap, and ultimately he's going to give himself a look at a par. Here's McBeth. Okay. Okay.
I feel like I should clap for that one. That was a great, great tee shot. And then with that big of a roll away and still to convert the two with that much pressure, he knows he's having to make the move. And Calvin circles, just inside circles it, but no issues.
Now Calvin answers, which I definitely think about. If Calvin doesn't somehow convert on that, it's a totally different mindset with 2 holes left to play. But Calvin now 3 strokes and just 17 and 18 to play, even with some attempted heroics by McBeth. And the grenade results in a birdie. Just 2 holes left to play.
Now, hole 17 coming in, 380 foot. It's OB on the whole left side. And Paul not really having an issue with it at all. Looks like he has a great shot. Maybe a little short. But yeah, it's a really tough hole to keep it in bounds without giving it a cut roll for the righties. Reid just throws a perfect lefty shot.
And if you're keeping track at home, McBeth has now gone 7 under for the last 7 holes to find himself 3 back of Calvin at the moment.
And that's going to be your common miss right there, getting away from the OB.
I kind of feel like that Homer Simpson meme where he kind of just backs into the bushes. That's exactly what I was doing there. There's no room for me to stand on that tee shot.
Just get in where you fit in, Tear Bear.
Yeah, that's what I do, buddy. And Calvin, low-hanging branches prevents him from the birdie luck. And that looked good until it didn't hit anything.
Yeah. Just a little off, and Paul able to convert, making up another
Yeah,
stroke.
he does. Yeah, he now goes 8 for 8 on the back 9, and that brings him within 2 strokes on a very challenging par 4 to finish.
Reid just off the top. So yeah, that's putting it in within striking distance for Paul. I mean, it's hole 18, anything can happen. There's a good bit of OB, and Calvin finishing up with a par right here.
I think back to 8 months ago, we were playing hole 18 almost in the pitch black, and so here we are after a huge discussion. McBeth says, well, I'm down 2. I'm going to try and go for the green 800 feet away.
My goodness.
Be the one, baby.
And so this is McBeth.
Come on, give green.
He's doing Paul things, which you gotta love. And
Oh, it's the same. Oh my God.
where'd he put it? Basically at the base of the hill. Jeez.
Exactly. And he has a chuckle. It still turns out to be an absolutely perfectly fine shot by any mortal's account, but Paul really was going for everything there, trying to somehow get to the green, but didn't really give it a chance.
I think James Snappy Cole might be the only one to ever get over to the green, but of course the green was in a different position, about the same play, but just a little bit more of a turnover. And what a perfect shot.
Yeah, that's all Calvin's looking to do. I mean, Calvin has 2 strokes to play with here. It's really just a matter of not giving it away at this point and just simply maintaining, because at best, Paul McBeth, short of a throw-in, is looking at an eagle, a birdie attempt.
And that'll be fine.
No, it was Coby Bryant.
Oh, give me a shout out.
And there was a little bit of a challenge as well. I think, again, we spent almost all of 3 minutes to try and find that one, even with the help of Dwayne and the rest of the spotters. So here's his 3rd shot.
Oh, he's fading off maybe a little more right than he wants to.
Calvin knows a simple up and down may secure it. And I think the gallery gives you the answer.
Yeah, he absolute fillets that shot.
Yeah, wow. There's a great shot by Sam.
Yeah, giving it everything, trying to finish with a bang. And wow,
So
this shot from Paul, it's incredibly far tee shot right there.
just to have this little standstill pitch up to there, and he doesn't quite give it the height that he needed. Maybe a good angle, but really he needed to put that in and then to have Calvin somehow par. And it looks like it's not going to be enough. And Reid's going to finish with a solid birdie, or a solid par save, I should say. Solid putt.
Great putt. Fixing the chains, maybe?
A little bit, making sure they're good. Paul seems to think they work there. He's got the birdie. So, Coby, I'm going to say thank you for joining me right now. I think everyone loved you. I appreciate it. We're going to see a little formalities with some tap-ins. Hopefully here, Sam finishes it off. And again, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I appreciate it. Always love being in Florida, love being at this property, love everything that's going on, and looking forward to seeing you soon. So I catch up with our winner, Calvin Heimburg, and then I'll catch up with second place and Paul McBeth. We'll see you guys on the next one. I'm the Disc Golf Guy, and I've caught up with our champion here, Calvin Heimburg. Calvin, you and Paul McBeth kind of pulled away from the field during the opening round, but going stroke for stroke, back and forth, and it all came down to this round. What do you feel like the difference was out there?
Didn't really have any big mistakes. I don't think I bogeyed anything this round, so I think that was the big difference. I think we probably had similar birdies, I just had no bogeys.
Well, you ultimately got him by 3 strokes during this round, and there was a 3-stroke swing over there on hole 5, I believe it is.
Yep.
You took the 3. He had an unfortunate roll away, and a little bit of bad luck took the 6. There's 3 strokes right there.
Yep.
How do you mentally recover after seeing that happening?
Try not to think about it. I don't want to envision myself doing the same thing, so just kind of move on and continue playing.
All right, so you guys, like I said, we're going back and forth. Is there a part of the course? Some other people said that you played the front better versus the back, but was there any part of the course that favors you?
I typically play the front 9 better at this course than the back 9. Generally, I mess up the last 4 holes and blow my round up. So generally the front. Yeah, I would say I play the front way better.
All right. So here we are in late October, and we're here in Brooksville. But what are on your plans for the rest of the season here?
Next week, Clearwater, Moxon Lake Open, and then some smaller B tiers until the South Florida Open in December. So still pretty busy for the rest of the season.
Lots of golf going on here in Florida. So what are we going to see from you next year? I know that you're probably torn as to how much you're going to be playing and other things that you have on in your life. What's going to be your plan for next year?
We'll see. Looking at possibly touring full-time next year. Just trying to figure out the details on that. So nothing solid yet, but we'll find out. So.
All right. Anything you want to say to everyone out there that's been watching all weekend?
Thanks for watching.
All right, that's Calvin Heimburg. He is your champion here at the Monster on the Mountain. I want to thank Mike Barnett along with Seth Fendley and everyone else involved in this awesome event. It's been a great time being here twice this year. We look forward to seeing you guys later on in the year. We'll catch you next time. After just catching up with our winner, Calvin, I want to catch up with second place. Paul, you came up a little bit short, but you had a pretty incredible back 9. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, 9 down through the back 9. I had what I think was a spit out. I didn't have another angle, but had to putt through the reed. So looked like a spit out from my angle, and then another eagle putt right off the top of the cage, or top of the basket. So it could have been even better, and that would have been the difference. We would have had a playoff.
Yeah, hole 16 as well, was you hitting side basket as that one came in. So you had a really uncharacteristic challenge, we'll say, as I'm trying to spit that out. Hole number 5. Just seems like everything compounded on you, and it went from worse to worse. Or is that hole 4?
Hole 4.
Hole 4.
Yeah, hole 4. I mean, if there's one knock on this course, it's the tee pads. You know, it's clearly the tee pads. There's a lot of roots under them. They're carpet. Some of them you're just teeing off natural. So, you know, dealing with that off the tee box and then hitting an early tree. And I threw a great second shot. Put it up there like just inside the circle, I think, or right there on the edge, and caught the top of the nubs, and that thing kind of rolled down a little bit. And then, you know, with how steep the cliffs are here, I was kind of like in a weird situation with the angle putt, and that went off the left side from maybe 18 feet away, and then spit it right back out on the next one.
Yeah, you're a little aggressive on that comebacker. I'm not going to lie, as you were putting for par on that hole, I was thinking this is a highlight. This is a less than ideal tee shot, an amazing approach, and then a solid putt to finish, and, well, no highlight.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I mean, I was throwing those forehands really good all weekend. I had a really good one on 18 yesterday to close out the round, and I thought that one was probably better. And then to make the putt right there would have been, like you said, it would have been a highlight, and it would have been
A game changer.
Yeah, I think I would have ran away with it at that point because I was playing really good. And then a triple bogey, and then a bogey later kind of derailed that, but put it back together on the back nine, and I think I made him a little nervous if that thing would have stayed up top.
It was definitely a good run. And here we are. We're at the end. We talked about it during this weekend. This is your final tournament here in 2018, and it's been a tremendous season. You also, when I'm thinking about it, you're closing out the season as a tournament, but also as a sponsored player. It's contract time. There's negotiations always on the line. How does someone like you think about that as you move into what some would call a contract year?
Yeah, I mean, I had a 3-year deal. It's coming to an end at the end of this year, and it's been a while since my name's been on the table to maybe go somewhere. So it's been interesting because Discraft has always been one that's targeted me. With the Ledgestone and staying with Heinold, he's just, I've always been really good friends with Heinold, so he's always like, hey man. So him, and then Rusco's. I mean, I was with DD before they ever made Disc, so he's contacted me, and when it's DD, it's the whole Latitude family. Prodigy hasn't contacted me.
Well, I think they did early on once, right?
Yeah, I think.
Didn't you once get a Frisbee from them?
Yeah, I think we've had our conversations in the past.
Okay,
but-
so they might be off the table. So I think back to 12 years ago, you showed up to my Am Worlds as sponsored by Innova. You ultimately take second, and here you are 12 years later, you take second, you're still throwing Innova. What's this run been like so far, and what are we going to see in the future?
It's been great. I mean, it's been a lot of fun. I mean, from Am Worlds in 2007 as a little kid and putting with these bright orange AVRs, DX AVRs, to now, having my own putter with my name on it, my own mid-range with my name on it, and then, every driver in my bag basically with my name on it. It's been an incredible 12 years. And it's crazy to think that 3 years ago, I was pretty locked in, and now here I am with offers on the table and opportunities to go other places, and who knows?
All right, well, who knows? Well, that's Paul McBeth. He's always tight-lipped, unless you have some inside scoop that I don't. I want to thank again Mike Barnett, the whole crew here, along with Seth and Dwayne and his wife Susan. It's just been awesome being here, and we're looking forward to coming back. Throw Down the Mountain, Monster on the Mountain. If you ever get a chance to come here to Brooksville, you got to make sure you do it. This is Paul McBeth, Terry Miller, the Disc Golf Guy, and we'll catch you guys next time.